Right, let's talk about Ben Chilwell there, because it's today that's his first start in this Premier League season. It's taken a bit of time to gain Thomas Tuchel's trust here today. How do you think he did today overall from his performance then, Mario?
No, I think he did really well. I know the situation, of course, the pressure and the feeling that he's going through. And, after coming out of the national team, coming from Leicester to a big club like Chelsea, winning the Champions League, then you go with the national team, then you come back the start of your season. Mentally, he had a little dip. Look, mentally, we all have to be ready for it. Whatever comes to us, that's what you expect from professional football players. But sometimes we are also human. And that's why I felt like this is one of the sides of the human being that he showed, that mentally it was going a little bit at him. And now I'm happy to see him on the field again, see him compete, because I have seen Chilwell play for young England when I was in France to go and watch them. Then I was prepping actually for my documentary. But I saw him play as a player and I was like, wow, who is this kid? I didn't know who he was, because his timing of going forward is so good. And then you get a kid like Alonso, is identical to it. So now the battle is on. And you want to have, like, Chelsea and anybody that's watching that team, you want to battle there. Because when you get a good battle of two players, you get the best out of them. And that's what is going on with Chilwell now. Normally, you put him in the team and it's not a problem. But because Alonso is playing so well, now he needs to fight for that position. But I felt like today, away from the penalty, I'm not going to look at the guy. Look, he's probably going to think about that, because as a defender, you think about giving a penalty away. But away from that, no. I hope he keeps on building and going forward and building his confidence back to what it normally was.
But do you not think, Mario, that the whole situation was a bit strange in how Thomas Tuchel handled the situation? As you mentioned, yes, he was struggling mentally from what happened in England with Gareth Southgate as well. He come into the season maybe not mentally fit, but it's been quite a while. And Tuchel's reasoning every time at the press conference asking about Chilwell is just saying he's just not ready. He's just not mentally ready. But up until today, for most players, for you to be mentally better, for you to feel better about yourself, is to go out and play, isn't it?
Yes and no, because sometimes you also got to wait for the timing, right? If you put a player in, you want to make sure that he's capable of doing the job that you expect him to do. Because you can well say to yourself, like, I got to play him because that's the only thing that's going to help him. But you don't want to do that, because then you throw him, like, what did I say? They call it, throw the kid in front of the wolves. And you don't want that, because you want to make sure that he's mentally ready so he can compete with that. Away from that, I said, I don't like a coach to say what the personal situation is. So if you ask me, did you agree with Tuchel? I agree with the way he puts him back in, but I don't agree with him making everybody know exactly what's going on. Keep that for yourself. Keep that in the team. Because one moment when you keep on saying what's really happening to your individuals, it's also the protection. Protect your team. Don't protect him. Don't let him be out in the open so much and letting everybody know what's really going on with him. That's what I would do. That's my choice.
Timing is everything. Yeah, timing is everything. Like Mario was saying, is that, you talk about, well, the only way for a player to get his confidence back is to be playing in the first team. That's not necessarily the case, because if you put a player back into the team that's not ready, you're going to send them further back. So that in itself makes life difficult. So from a manager's side of things, not only are you a person that's got to pick the team, you've got to pick the best tactics, you've got to get the better of the opposition. A manager now, I'd say more than ever, is like a father figure. And they have to make sure that the state of the player is in the right place in order to get the best out of them. And he's obviously looked at the situation with Ben Chilwell and thought he's not ready yet. What I would say is that if we were talking about Tuchel coming in at Chelsea when he first came in, and if he decided to play with a back four, I don't think there'd be any argument. I think Chilwell would be in, because I think Chilwell has more of a recovery as in terms of getting back towards his own goal than Alonso. But the beauty of it is now is that Alonso playing wing-back or Chilwell playing wing-back, they now know that they have one of the best centre-backs in the world in Rudiger, who can cover that left-back position if they're not there. So that's what now makes it more difficult for Chilwell. And a really interesting race, but it's a great headache for Tuchel to have.
Yeah, it's a great headache. I guess in some ways, managing that sort of mental state of players is quite similar as per how Ole tried to manage Jesse Lingard when he was going through a really tough time and going through a really bad spell of form. And they just needed to wait for the right time to push him to the next level when he's ready. I think that's key. You've got to wait for when the player himself is ready to take that step back onto the pitch as well. Very, very, very good points. But let's have a look at this goal then, Danny, because it was quite a frantic one, this one. We didn't know at some point if the goal went in or not, but McCarthy made a save, but the ball crossed the goal line.
Yeah, of all the efforts, it was the most difficult effort that went into the back of the net. I think first of all it's Lukaku, then it's Azpilicueta, and this finish is incredible. I know it is over the line, but for him to do that, for him to score from there, the trajectory, the power, how he gets his body over the ball, he makes it look easy. I guarantee you, listen, I was never in the class of Chilwell, but if I tried that 100 times, fans would be taking a ball home in the crowd. It's as simple as that. It's unbelievable. It's incredible.
Great technique.
Yeah, I mean, it's great news for Ben Chilwell to be able to nick this goal, Mario.
Yeah, definitely, because like I already mentioned before about the penalty kick, you know, like you want to put things right, and getting this goal that would get a lot of, you know, ease, you know, and bring a lot of take a lot of pressure away from him. Because if not, you go home and knowing that, oh, I conceded the penalty, regardless if they win. As a player, you always look. I feel it's hard to say, but the mistakes you make are always higher than the achievement that you get. And that is just a mental thing that we have as pros. And Danny, you know, I'm sure you thought about it like that.
Far too many times.
What did we do wrong? And that's what we think about. But we should also, you know, sometimes, you know, you got to think about the good things. And I'm happy that he had that moment, because this will give him the momentum that he needs.
Yeah, it's going to be a big 2 weeks for Ben Chilwell as well, because he's not been named in Gareth Southgate's squad for this upcoming internationals, which is good and bad as well. But Alonso is, which means these 2 weeks are really important for him to impress Tuchel in training without having Alonso there to be in view as well, maybe as a distraction. But really good opportunity for him.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is? It's also boring when you're there. It's also boring. I'm telling you, I'm going to be honest with you. I have moments when I was with the national team, and I have moments when I was with the club. It's so quiet. It's dead. It's like you're training for nobody. It's like, I mean, Danny, you tell me, what did you feel if you were not with, you know, whatever you did? Oh, my God.
I became an international at 35 playing for Gibraltar, so my experience is pretty limited with the international side of things. But what I will say is that when there's a break after a game, if you've won, it's absolutely fine. But if you've lost, you just want the 2 weeks to hurry up. And the thing is, you can find yourself, depending on what team you're playing for, where there's only 7 or 8 of you. And it's very, very difficult to actually do anything that's constructive on the training ground other than fitness work and do a little bit of finishing, a little bit of defending. But yeah, it can be tough, that 2 week period, because it's trying to maintain the fitness whilst also trying to keep your head around the fact of, yes, you've not got a game for 2 weeks. You can't really do what you'd normally do in training because so many of your teammates are away.